God of my valley. I'm also glad to know no matter where I'm at, not just the God of the mountain, but He's the God of my valley. You know, if I'm following Him and I'm walking after Him and I'm putting my best foot forward, all things work together for the good. All things. And whether I be in the valley or whether I be on the mountaintop, He's still God. He doesn't change. And we've got to understand that, and we got to know that. It's a very principle that we stand upon. And I'm so thankful that He is my God. Not just the God of my mountain, but He's the God of my valley. You know, I stand here tonight, and I normally have all kinds of things to say. And you look at me as the man of God, the minister tonight, supposed to have something to say.
Come on. Thank you, Lord. Let your will be done, God, in the name of Jesus.
But you know, more than anything, we need to hear from God.
That's right.
We need to hear from God one-on-one, personally. You know, Sister Julie, before she started here, she brought up some scriptures in Romans, and she began to speak about some things. She's going to speak about the darkness and about the time we're living in. And we are living in a dark hour. We are living in the last days. We are living in troubling times. You look to your left, you look to your right, people all around us, evil just prevailing all around. You see it creeping into the churches. You see it creeping into our lives. Not only on the outside, but even in the churches.
Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord.
And it is time that we wake up. And it is time that we turn our faces to God. It is time that we fall on our faces before Him and say, God, cleanse me. God, purge me. Purify me. Make me ready to see You. Make me ready to stand before You. Because we're going to stand before Him. Each and every one of us, we're going to stand before Him. You can be seated. I don't even know where I'm going right now. I'm just trying to follow the direction of the Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
But you know, I told Brother Albert before church, I said, if God don't give me something, I don't have a message tonight. But it ain't that I don't have a message. I've got plenty of messages I've not preached in this church that I've preached elsewhere. But I can't just pull something out of a book or out of a folder and come up here and preach it. It's just not me. It's got to be something God puts in my spirit. God, where are Your people? What do they need? I'm back here tonight. I'm standing in the kitchen. And God puts a scripture in my mind. And I'm like, of all the places that You would send me, Ezekiel? I'm like, God, I need some studying. I need some strong concordance. I need a lot of that. I need to go back and get some background on this. Because, you know, Ezekiel said some tough stuff. You can't just take stuff out of Ezekiel and start preaching because it just goes so many different places. But I am going to share a verse. And I do believe this is going to be short. And I believe we're going to have a prayer meeting here tonight. You can get on your face wherever you're at this altar and just pray for the duration of time after I'm finished. And you can leave at your will as you please. But I believe we need to touch God tonight. We need to fall on our faces. We need to let some things go. We need to consecrate ourselves again. We need, you know, it's bad when you have a prayer meeting or you say, let's pray. In 15 minutes you're done and don't know what else to say. You know, if you come in contact with somebody and you have trouble talking with them and you have trouble communicating with them and you really run out of things to say pretty quick, you know, there's just one reason to that. You just don't really have a good relationship with them. I may have better relationships with others, just time spent. The more time I spend with Albert, the more things I want to get to know about Albert. The more hobbies I know you're going to like, things that you're interested in, going to give us more things to talk about, and we're going to be able to talk together, communicate together, and have a conversation together. what I'm saying?
Yes.
But we fall down on our face and on our knees 5-10 minutes. We're done.
Come on.
Maybe it's because there's some things, we need to get some things in common with God. We need to find out what He likes. We need to find out what gets His attention. And get in that intimate prayer. That intimate prayer where you get lost and 2 hours later, man, you've just been in the Shekinah glory and the power of God. That's what we're missing. That's what we're lacking. And that's where we need to find ourselves and get ourselves in that place we just get lost in God. Get saturated in God. And just let God consume us. And open up and be transparent and say, God, take it out of me, whatever's there. I don't know who I'm speaking to tonight, what I'm fixing to read here, but I know that God is speaking to someone. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 12. Actually, I want to back up just a little bit further. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 7. Apologize if I'm a little loud. I sit here and echo every now and then. I'm trying to adjust it here. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things, abominable beasts, and all idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood about them 70 men, of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them that stood Jehazaniah the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in his chambers. And this is the verse that God pressed in my spirit so hard. Well, I may be speaking to one person that God's trying to shake you and let you know, I know where you're at. You may think you're hiding from others, but you're not hiding from me. I'm just going to say it the way I feel it, because I know what God pressed in my spirit so hard. You know, there's things on the outside, everything looks good. Everything looks like we got it together, Brother Kevin.
Yes,
but down beneath this skin, we're flesh. And we're rotten flesh. And we need a Savior, and we need a deliverer, and we need a healer, and we need God to consume us and overshadow us and deliver us from our wickedness. You can sit down. You can be seated if you please. Verse 12. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark?
There you go.
Every man in the chamber of his imagery. In the chambers of his imagination.
Help us,
Can
Lord.
take right here.
Help us, Lord.
Right here.
That's right.
For they say, The Lord seeth us not. The Lord hath forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Hear me today, church. It is time that we take a deep look at ourselves.
Yes, God.
I'm not sitting here trying to place judgment on anybody tonight. I'm sitting here, I'm preaching to myself as all. We all need to open up ourselves before the Almighty God. We all need to fall at His feet. We are all as filthy rags. Without Him, we are all castaways. It is only by the grace of God and the mercy of God that we are able to do anything or be anything or to overcome anything or to do anything in the power of God. It is by His Spirit, through His Spirit, and only through Him and by His power that we are able to do anything. But we must challenge ourselves. We must not deceive ourselves. The Bible says many will believe a lie and be damned. The Bible says they will deceive themselves and believe a lie. I don't want to believe a lie and try to put up some wall or some facade and think, well, God doesn't see me in the back of my mind. God sees and knows all. He knows where we're standing. He knows where we're walking. He knows our inconsistencies. And don't try to hide it from God. But come running to the throne of mercy and say, God, here I am, this wretched man. Here I am, just insignificant that I am. God, I'm in need of a today, church. Don't wait till it's too late. I know I've talked with many different ones along throughout the years. There's going to be an era. There's going to be a time. There's going to be a people. You know, when we're young, we think, I got my whole life in front of me.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a time. There's going to be a generation, and God have mercy. He is the ultimate judge, and He'll make the ultimate decision. That's not for me to make. And I pray God, but there's going to be a generation of young people in youthfulness, and that's going to be living in that hour of lust and turmoil and everything in their life that they face at that time. There's going to be an hour that God splits those eastern skies, and there's going to be a generation standing in that hour of sinfulness and lust and all that stuff that we fight at that time, and some even fight it later in life. There's going to be an hour. There's going to be a day that God splits those eastern skies. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till the time is over. Today is the day of salvation. Now is the time. Today is the day to make things right. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till next week, because I'm going to tell you, you're just going to put it off even more. You're going to put it off even more. And God sees and knows all. I know first and foremost, as well as anyone in this house, how quick life can be taken from us. I know many of us have lost family members. I know many of us have lost loved ones. And we see how quick life can be taken from us.
Yeah.
And I personally dealt with that myself and my cousin, standing right beside him one night in a club, drinking alcohol, all that stuff. It could have been me. Stabbed right there in front of me. The guy standing in front of me with the knife. Blood on the knife. Look at me right in the eyes. I'm fixing to take him on. The only reason I didn't, I couldn't get a hold of him. Hear me. We got to wake up. We're not promised tomorrow. I made it to it tomorrow. I'm standing here today. If I'd have been the one that got taken my life that night, I wouldn't be where I am. God knows. I don't know. He's the judge. I know what the Word says. But I'm not the one. I can't put that judgment. I know what the Word says. But my cousin didn't get that chance. We were side by side, first cousins, same age. Sat there in a club that night. Watch my cousin leave this world while in sin, while in his youthfulness. I got tomorrow. I got more time. I got more time. Oh, I got the rest of my life. God, God, I got it. I got tomorrow. It'll be all right. I don't know why I'm feeling this so urgent in my spirit, but somebody needs to know. You're not promised tomorrow.
No, you're not.
You're not promised next week. You're not promised in the morning.
No, sir.
Right.
Choose this day who you will serve. Choose this day who you're going to follow, because tomorrow may not come. Whatever you're doing in the dark, whatever you're doing in secret, it's not for me to know, but God knows.
Yes, He does.
Let's let it go. Let's fall on our faces. And even those that are seasoned in church, whoever you may be, we find ourselves in hours of weakness. We find ourselves slipping away. David, a man after God's own heart, a man that had been called, had been chosen, had been placed in kingship, promise upon promise. He found himself took a man's life, taking another woman, sleeping with a man's wife, taking Uriah and taking him out, putting him on the battlefront, having him slain. Here he was at the top of the mountain, finds himself in an hour of weakness, finds himself in failure, finds himself in defeat. Yeah, when the prophet came and the prophet got his attention and God had mercy and David fell on his face and realized his faults. There's still mercy no matter where you're at, how far you've fallen. I'm not sitting here saying there's not, but I'm saying don't wait till it's too late. At least David had enough quickening in his spirit that he shook himself, fell on his face. Oh, it took a man of God coming and shaking his world and speaking to his life. But what I'm saying and why I brought that to mind tonight, I'm not just talking to the youth. I'm not just talking to those that are in their youth or the beginning of their prime of their youthfulness. But I'm talking to every one of us tonight. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to each and every one of us. We can find ourselves in hours of weakness.
Help us, Lord. Help us.
Don't be caught unaware.
Forgive us, Lord.
Don't allow the snares of this world to catch us unaware. But let's stay vigilant. Let's stay vigilant. Let's stay steadfast. strength and you go another day or two and then you find yourself right there again. We've all been there. Hear me today, church. We got to have that intimacy with God on a daily basis. Without that intimacy, without that prayer life, without that in your life, you will never be able to overcome those things. I'm just going to be straight, blunt, and forward. You will never be able to overcome those things. You may temporarily overcome them. You may for a season overcome them through your will, through your grit, through your mind, through your determination. But without the intimacy and the relationship with God, that fervency, you will fall again and again and again and again and again. We have got to find that intimacy with God. We've got to find that alone time with God. I know our lives are busy. I know things are busy, Brother Albert. I'm just kicking myself, everything. But he's been trying so hard to get something established with the men. It just seems like it's one thing after another. But you know what? We're just going to keep on fighting. We're going to keep on striving. But I say that to let you realize I know life is busy. But somewhere in the midst of all this, we've got to make a path. We've got to clear away and find ourselves back in our prayer closet and our prayer rooms and on our faces and on our knees. We've got to make time. We've got to make time. Because if we don't, we're going to lose. And when I say lose, God's not going to lose. God's church is going to prevail. But individually, one-on-one, the church may go on, but we're going to be falling off to the wayside. And there's even some that are coming, church service after service. They're still inside. Don't get me wrong by saying this. If you may be here fighting this right now, don't take me wrong and say that I'm calling you a loser and quit, because don't you dare. But there's people that's coming to church that's losing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They're losing the battle and sitting on the pews.
Yes, they are.
Hear me, church. I'm being as real as I can be. I know this ain't nothing to shout about and run the pews. But there's people coming to church day after day after day, week after week, and losing the battle.
That's right.
They're going home. When I say losing, when you leave here and go home and have no joy. When you leave here and go home and have no peace. When you leave here and go home and have no, I'm talking about long term.
Yes, Lord.
I'm tired of this short term stuff. We need some long term faith. Some long term joy. Some long, short-term disability, we're all familiar with that stuff. That's to get you by for a season. But it's cheaper. That long-term is a little more expensive. That long-term is going to get my pocket just a little bit more. You know what? Very unlike, I may break my elbow and be down 3 months or so. That'll cover me. That's not, but that long-term is going to cost me. Do you hear me in the spirit tonight? To get that long-term stamina, to get that long-term faith, to get that long-term joy, it's going to cost you something. It's going to take some sore knees. It's going to take some sore elbows. It's going to take getting the floor wet. It's going to take getting down and seeking after God. And even when it feels like your prayers are bouncing off the wall. I want some long-term joy. I want some long-term benefits. And I serve a God with some long-term benefits. And so long I see people going on, I just don't understand. I just hear in my spirit, seems like I'm serving a God that just has short-term benefits. But hear me. It's what are you willing to give? It goes back to what are you willing to give?
Yes, Lord.
Peter, are you willing to step out of that boat?
Yes, Lord.
Peter, are you willing to jump out? Are you willing to make the sacrifice? Are you willing to take the plunge?
Yeah, amen.
Hear me tonight, church. This flesh is weak. This flesh don't want to do it. We got to challenge ourselves every day.
Yes, Lord.
God, I want to be more like you. Father, help me. Hear me. If that's nothing more than what you say. I remember being in that time through a couple different struggles in my life when I first came to God. Some things I could not overcome. But yet I knew what the scripture said, and I knew they were wrong. And I remember just saying, God, I don't want that there. God, I never yielded to it and just said, that's flesh. That's just who I am. That's just, That's just the nature of man. That's just the way it's going to always be. That's yielding and surrendering to the will. But no, I said, God, no, I know what your word said.
Yes, Lord.
Then all of a sudden, one day I look back. I don't even know when it happened. All I know is I never give up that fight. I never quit fighting. I never give into it. And then one day I was like, whoa, man, that problem's no longer there.
All right, amen.
Man, it don't happen overnight. But you got to keep fighting it. You got to keep rebuking it. You got to keep binding it. You cannot yield to it. Do not yield to the temptation. Do not yield to the deceitfulness. I hope you can hear me in the spirit tonight, what I'm saying and what I'm feeling in my spirit. Romans chapter 1, verse 22. I want to go back just a little bit. 21, I believe. 21. Going back, referring to the last days and the end times and the darkness and the things that's all around us. For the invisible things, I said 21, I'm on 20. 21. Because that, when they knew God, they glorified Him not as God. Neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish hearts was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like unto corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness, through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did strange the natural use. Even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meet. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness. Is this even, I know I'm reading a lot here, and I'm not got lost in my reading. I hope you're listening. Does this sound familiar today? It sounds like the hour I'm living in. And I can take you to many, many more throughout the New Testament. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers. And I tell you, this is today. It's today. It's the hour we're living in. Without natural affection, implicable, I don't know if I pronounced that right or not, but unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. You know, I read all this, and I just see it. It basically boils down to one thing: idolatry. We just turned our faces from God, put our backs to Him, and doing our own things, serving ourselves, serving our will, serving our desire, serving the imaginations of our mind.
Yes, Lord.
Going back to Ezekiel, where he said, the things that you do in your imagery is what the scripture stated it. In the chambers of your imagery, the ancient ones of Israel. Oh, God was chastising them then, and He was talking about the sin and the wickedness. It ain't no new thing. Flesh has always been flesh from the beginning. But it's the same old struggle. But hear me today, church. If you go back in Ezekiel, he talked about, and greater abominations shall they do. And greater abominations shall they do. And they read some more. And greater abominations do they do. And it was kind of interesting to me when he gets towards the end. He saves the end as them sitting down, and they even states, turning their back to the sun and worshiping their other gods. It ended it with idolatry. He stated all these other things. And then it kept saying, and greater, like it was building and building and building, all the way down to idolatry. And you go to the New Testament, he's talking about the end days, turning from the natural affections and and going back. And it's basically the same old thing. The thing that God hates and abhors. Have no other gods before me.
No, sir.
Have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not, one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. But we put ourselves before God all
Help
the
us,
time.
Lord. Help us.
I'm guilty.
Forgive us, Lord.
I'm guilty,
Forgive us,
Sister
Lord.
Sandra. I'll be the first one to state it. And I try, and I'm going to continue to try to challenge myself to do better. I'm going to challenge myself. We don't need this attitude. I see it so often. It's the best I can do. Hear me. I want to start. I can do better.
That's
Yes,
right.
we can. Yes, we
I can do better.
Yes, amen.
I can challenge I can do better. But man, inside and I've said this even when inside I feel like I'm doing everything to my power. But down inside I'm just like, pull everything together. God, no, I can do better.
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Because I
can.
want to be like Him.
Yes.
I want to be like Christ. I hope you get the full circle picture of what I'm trying to say tonight and what I'm trying to put out there before you tonight. He is our example. He's the one we're supposed to walk uprightly before. He's the one the Bible even tells us we will be judged compared to Christ. He says, be like me. I and you and me. I'm not going to get into that whole thing tonight. But hear me tonight, church. I'm fixing to close. I'm fixing the end. And we're just going to play music. I don't know if they're going to play the piano. I don't know if they're going to turn something on back here. But I'm going to open these altars tonight. When I say open these altars, I'm just turning it into a prayer room tonight. We're going to turn the lights down. If you have a need, don't be bashful. Come up. Get me, get brother. Get us. We'll pray for you. Get some men, women, we'll get together. There's needs here tonight. I don't want you leaving without being prayed for. If you want prayer, we'll pray for you. But otherwise, I just want every one of us to fall on our faces tonight. I know what I said in the beginning. You pray how you feel like praying, and nobody's going to look at you in the time frame when you leave, when you don't leave. But I do challenge you. It's only 8 o'clock. We've only been here an hour. I mean, a lot of times we'll set it, well, Brother Kevin knows, should we set in? We said just to get a good seat up there at the conference, we sat in line for an hour just to get through the doors. Then we was an hour before service, then we was 3 hours in service. So I'm going to tell you, an hour ain't going to hurt none of us here. And I'm using that tonight as a conference. I did even crazier things than that in ball games and everything else. We've only been here an hour tonight.
Come on, amen.
Let's take some time. Let's get on our face. Let's open our, we need to have some spiritual surgery in our life. God, even David, and I'm going to tell you, even David, I'm not going to get into it, but he even said, Lord, reveal the secret things in me. You may be sitting here saying, well, I don't really know, I don't think I have any real issues. First of all, it doesn't matter if you have any issues or not. Coming to the altar is just a good thing.
Yes, sir.
Kneeling down and loving Him. But here, even David went on and said, God, if there be anything in me, reveal it, show it. He wanted to be so open. He wanted to have it out there before Him. God, if there be anything in me, anything.
Take it
There
out.
was things I thought I was over and late, and I was praying those prayers over and over, day after day. And all of a sudden, I said, whoa, where did that come from? God, I mean, as fast as I said it, God said, you wanted to know if there was anything in you. And man, He put me in a position, in a situation that just, His Spirit came out that wasn't right. Well, I'm not saying it was evil, it was demonic, but it just wasn't the right spirit. I didn't handle the situation the way I should. And it checked me. Hear me. I want it all out. The Bible says that's what the fire, that's what the trial, that's what the valley's for, to bring that down to the surface, to reveal it. He talks about when we tried in the fire.
Glory.
We talked about it last week. Let the fire do its work. Let it bring it to the surface. Let dross can be taken off. As gold is refined, the Bible refers to us the same way. So I'm opening these altars, or if you want to sit where you're at tonight, I just come tonight to challenge you, to challenge yourself, to open yourself up and say, God, here I am. I truly want to be right. I truly want to be right.
Yes, Lord.
I truly want to stand before you.
Yes, Lord.
I want to be that spotless lamb.
Yes,
I want my garments to be without spot and without wrinkle. I want to do everything in my power to be right before thee. Hear me tonight. We're going to turn the lights down. We're going to play. Find a place to pray. Leave at your own will. Like I said, if somebody needs prayer, come to pray. But you leave on your own time. God bless you.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Father, in your name right now. God, you know the very needs right now within this man, God, and within his life. God, you know right now, God. God, I pray by the power of your spirit right now. God, that you would go in right now, God, and that you would do spiritual surgery. God, that you would begin to work within and without. God, that you would begin to do what the potter does best, God. Lord, that you would begin to mold